ケーナッツの皆さんこんにちは。 NHL アイスホッケーレギュラーシーズンもいよいよ大詰めです。今回はアメリカカリフォルニア州ロサンゼルスにありますステイプルズセンターを舞台にいたしました。ウエスタンの重要な一戦です。アナハイムマイティラックスとロサンゼルスキングスの一戦をお届けしてまいります。解説はおなじみ早稲田大学アイスホッケー部監督、現役時代は国土でフォワードとして活躍されました中野浩一さんです。中野さん、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。
ウエスタン9位のアナハイムマイティラックスとウエスタン5位のロサンゼルスキングスの対戦ですが、どんな点に注目して見ていきますか？
そうですね、ロサンゼルスの方はもう一息でプレーオフ進出を、決められます。そしてマイティラックスは後がなくなりましたね、この辺でどのような戦いぶりを見せるか、この辺に注目したいですね。
それでは初めに両チームの紹介 VTR からご覧いただきましょう。現在87ポイントでウエスタンカンファレンス5位、プレーオフ進出決定目前のロサンゼルスキングス。中心選手はキャプテンのロブ・ブレイク。堅実な守備を得意とし、98年には最優秀ディフェンスマンに輝いている。今シーズンからロサンゼルスに加わったジグモンド・パルティは華やかな攻撃センスを持ち、過去40ゴール以上を3回達成している。しかし現在は肩の負傷で欠場中である。NHL 有数のゴールスコアラーリュク・ロバタイユ、36ゴール71ポイント、チームスコアリングリーダー1位と貢献している。現在ウエスタンカンファレンス8位のサンノゼと3ポイント差、78ポイント9位のアナハイムマイティラックス。今シーズン後半戦は快調にポイントを重ね、終盤で追い込みを狙っているポール・カリア。2月後半に右足を負傷し長期欠場していたが、3月26日の対フェニックス戦で復帰している。2月16日の対カルガリー戦で NHL 通算700ポイントを達成したテームス・セラニ、フィニッシュフラッシュの異名でプレーオフ出場権獲得を目指す。残り試合はともにこの試合を含めてあと5つです。ロサンゼルスは今日の試合に勝てば、プレーオフ進出が決まります。アナハイムはサンノゼと3ポイント差、苦しいですね。
苦しいですね、1試合も落とせない状況ですよね、
当然エドモントンもサンノゼも勝ち点伸ばしてくるでしょうから、それを上回るペースでいく必要があるわけですね。
そうですね。
アナハイムは過去振り返ってみましても、このプレーオフ直前は結構勝ち進んで、なんだかんだ言ってもプレーオフに残ることは多いんですけれどもね。
そうですね、終盤の追い上げが、最近ありますよね、
ただ今シーズンはそれにしても数字的にかなりきつくなってきています。ご覧いただく両チームの成績です。過去10試合はアナハイム4勝4敗2分け5割ペース、なかなか数字が稼げません。ロサンゼルスも4勝3敗3分けです。平均得点はアナハイム 2.6、 ロサンゼルスが 3.0、 平均失点はともに 2.8 です。パワープレーは14位と15位なんですが、中野さん、アナハイムのペナルティーキリング28位というのはちょっと気になりますね。
そうですね、この辺でやはりディフェンス面の弱さっていうのが出てますよね、
そして今シーズンの両者の対戦成績は2勝2分け。アナハイムはロサンゼルスを得意にしています。
そうですね、この辺で、今日もそういう勝ち方をしたいところですね、
アナハイムにとっては本当に重要な試合になります。ロサンゼルスは残り5つのうち1つ勝てばいいかなみたいな、そういう感じがあるんですけれどもねさあ一体どういう試合になるんでしょうか。オールメンバー見てまいりましょう。まずロサンゼルスキングスです。フォワード11番がジェイソン・ブレイクです。21番スモリンスキー、20番ロバタイユというファーストライン、23番ジョンソン、15番スタンペル、そして27番がマレーです。9番のブックバーガー、19番のコーカム、29番のシャートランドという3つ目のライン、そして7番のマッケナ、22番のラベリエル、そして42番のバイルズマ。ここはチェッキングラインです。ディフェンスのペアリング、4番がロブ・ブレイク、14番ノーストロム、3番ギャリー、6番オードネル、5番バーグ、44番がモドリーとなっています。ゴーリーは35番ベテランのステファン・フィセ、それから1番のジェイミー・ストアが登録されています。高尾さん、我々とすると日系2世ジェイミー・ストアのプレーも見たかったんですけれどもね、今日はフィセがロサンゼルスキングスのゴールを守ります。一方アナハイムマイティラックス、こちらフォワードのライン、9番のポール・カリアキャプテン、20番のスティーブ・ルーチン、8番のティム・セラニというおなじみのラインです。21番ドラト、そして17番のマット・カレン、21番のキップ・ミラー。3つ目のラインには29番のモーン、そ れから22番のヨンソンと16番のマーティ・マキニス、12番マイクル・クレア、14番アルト、そして33番エド・ウォードという4つ目のラインです。ディフェンスのペアリングは2番のオローソンと24番のルスラン・サレイ、10番のトバドフスキーと28番のハーブリット、さらには5番のハラーと6番のビシュネフスキーとなっています。ゴーリーは31番守護神ギー・エベールと30番のドミニク・ルセルが登録されておりますが、大事な1番、もちろん守護神ギー・エベールが守ります。エベールは1試合平均 2.51 失点、シュートセーブ率 90.9% です。
Welcome back. Los Angeles, California, just about set to go. The arch-rival Mighty Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings. Well, it hasn't been much of a rivalry for LA. Anaheim has dominated the Kings. Just one loss in their last 11, and Anaheim is 5-1 here in Los Angeles over the last 6 games. Two referees, Dan O'Halloran and Stephen Walcom, working the lines, Wayne Bonney and Mark Wheeler. And we're underway from Los Angeles. And the first heavy hit of the game is thrown by Ian LaPerriere, among the top penalty minute players in the National Hockey League for Los Angeles. Inside the King zone, and now it's chopped back out the center. Anaheim is wearing their home whites here in Los Angeles, and that allows the Kings to wear their alternate third sweaters on home ice. Forced back deeper inside the Anaheim zone, centered in front. Hebert the quick stick to knock it away, and that allows the Mighty Ducks to shoot in. Anthony Alto in this first line on for Anaheim. They'll go off for a change. And we'll see the real first line for the Mighty Ducks, and that's the one featuring Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya, and Steve Ruchin. They're on the ice here, 45 seconds into the hockey game.
And unfortunately for Steve Ruchin, he doesn't get mentioned all the time, but he is a key component of this three-man unit up front.
Here's Selanne on Rob Blake. How about that all-star one-on-one matchup? Shoveled towards the front of the net. Selanne lost his edge. And I believe we're going to have a penalty call. Minute 3 into the game.
Obstruction tripping. Stephen Walcom wearing number 24.
Penalty for Tripp.
Makes the call and addresses the penalty box area. First power play of the hockey game. What a way to start the game when you're on the road, and especially when you're taking off Rob Blake as well. Rob Blake, of course, when he gets 32 minutes per game, so many of them in shorthanded situations. Teemu Selanne gets dumped down there. It was Rob Blake that was on the right side of your screen. Right here. It's a little bit of a hook right there, but I think you're right on the mark, Steve. It was the momentum of Selanne going towards his left. I think it was more of Selanne taking a quick cut as well. It just, basically, Rob Blake's guilty by association. He was right there.
It's the hottest power play in the NHL since February 1st. #1 in the league, and that forward line that was on stays on the ice. Ruchin, Kariya, and Selanne. Fredrik Olofsson and Oleg Tverdovsky play the points on a real skill power play unit from Anaheim, and you see the numbers. Not so good before February 1st. Since then, the best in the NHL.
One of the big reasons is Tverdovsky spent more time on the power play. These two guys are flying high, combining for 30 goals on the blue line for Anaheim. And obviously, it was a big part of their dramatic comfort behind victory against the Phoenix Coyotes that have put them in this position here. Hopefully, for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, they'll be able to continue the momentum that they had against Phoenix.
Shot inside the King zone. Ruchin pushes it along the glass now. Couple of Ducks in the corner with a couple of Kings. Rolls up for Olofsson on his backhand towards the front of the net. Here's Selanne on his backhand, trying to set up Olofsson for the one-timer. Now he lets it go. It's blocked, and LA's looking to break. And they're unable to get to it. Ryan Smolinski was ahead of the field momentarily, but could not get possession of the puck. Here's Olofsson now. Passes the bit behind Paul Kariya, and Kariya will circle inside his own end. Now he loses. Another short-handed effort by LA. Good pressure here, at least on the penalty kill.
Well, great work by Murray. Outstanding work to pressure the puck.
Here is Kariya. Gets it across. Tverdovsky trying to go back to Kariya, and it popped on him, trying to set the one-time wrist shot up. And the Kings get to it. Glenn Murray will flip all the way down.
Great shit by the penalty killers here. Now Kelly Buchberger comes in with a big hit on the young defenseman Haviland, and that really gets the crowd going too. The energy already lifting up, even though they're in a short-handed situation.
Centering feed, shot, tipped off the defenseman Berg and just wide of the net. Donato had the opportunity there. 12 seconds left in the power play. To the corner now. Ducks lose, Kings get to it and should clear, and do, with Brad Chartrand able to get it out all the way down. big start for LA as Rob Blake is released from the penalty box because the way the Ducks power play has been going so far, Kings off to a good start with the penalty kill. And we're back to 5 aside. No shots on that power.
No, not one. I mean, the one just kind of whipped off the heel of the stick and went wide on the stick side of Fisset, and I'm sure Fisset is anxious to touch the puck for the first time in this game as well. It's always good to get a feel for the puck early.
Robitaille trying to get a touch. Now they get the shot from the angle. Craig Johnson went wide of the net. Sean O'Donnell shoots it in deeper. There's Luke all by himself. Now gets some help as the Kings try to set it up now. Towards the front of the net, broken up by Ruslan Saleh. Tried the headman pass, and they're just offside, trying to connect with Ladislav Cohn. Third member of our broadcast team, as always, here's Darryl Ray.
Andy Murray, of course, the head coach for the Los Angeles Kings, and their stress and urgency, as Darryl Ray alluded to. I mean, their thought process is, consider us on the brink. They keep everything in the present there. They're not, you get caught up in looking ahead and what other teams are ahead, what teams are behind. They've got to keep everything in the present with LA, and they've been good their last 4. They're 2-0-2, even though they struggled with that 4-4 tie in Boston.
Wrong shot by Ed Ward, off the mark. Check thrown by O'Donnell in the corner, and now the Ducks look to set it up. Empty Alto back behind the net. Tried to go to the front of it to Mike Leclerc. Couldn't get it through as O'Donnell picked up the man. And Stefan Fisset, the save, and he'll hang on.
Well, Coach Andy Murray said that the goaltender that's the best goaltender will be the goaltender come playoff time when they do secure a playoff spot. Stefan Fisset right now with 18 wins. Both goaltenders have been hindered by nagging injuries through the course of the year, and the one number that they want to get up certainly is that save percentage. It's only at 89%. Meanwhile, Guy Hebert, who's won 26 games, goals against average of just a shade over 2.5, and a save percentage of 90%. 4 shutouts included there. He's had some up and down. It's been a turbulent season for Guy Hebert. In fact, he came off a game that wasn't sterling against Phoenix, but yet the defensive squad of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, they shut down Phoenix. And he had 3 pucks whiz by him, hit the post, 3 goals in the first period. I mean, it didn't look very good for Anaheim at the beginning of that hockey game.
And again, that was Sunday night on ESPN. That was the last action for the Mighty Ducks. Kind of a quirk of the schedule after playing 8 games in 13 days. A whole week off. That 4-3 overtime win. Turn around and shot right on. Fisset in the proper position to make the stop. And shot into the Anaheim zone. Hebert nearly put it right on the stick of Kelly Booker. Good check. Couple of good early hits by Los Angeles, trying to get this crowd into the game. It's forced in deeper by the youngster Nicholas Haveled. And that allows Anaheim to get possession. They cycle down low. Here's Solani. Gets it to Correa. Quick shot right on. And Fisset the glove, and then he'll hang on. So Anaheim, clearly the better offensive chances early.
Give and goes are what the Los Angeles Kings and Rob Blake have to be so aware of, as Rob Blake and Matthias Norrstrom will get the nod defensively against that tandem. But it's all the work down low, and Correa in one sweeping motion, you couldn't even hear the puck come off the blade of his stick. It's so soft. If you're a fan of lacrosse, it's very similar. You cradle the ball, you bring it back, and in one smooth motion, you let her rip. And it's very tough to defend against. But I know, talking to Rob before the game, it's all about time and space against these 2 players. And you know that if you're in a foot race and you're even with them, you're behind them. You're already in trouble if you're even at one point. So you can't allow them to get behind you. But already, both players on that same shift had one-time sequences.
Whistle for a hand pass with 14:51 left in a scoreless first period. Documented obviously how important it is for Anaheim, and the game important for LA trying to clinch a spot. LA could still be caught by Phoenix, and when the Coyotes started to come on a bit, they're only 3 points back of the Los Angeles Kings, so they're not in that solid fifth spot yet.
No, you're right about that. They're not, and they know that. And, Rob Blake, when he goes up against players like Correa and Solani too, he's such a great body check, and he kind of hits from behind, with his behind, I should say.
It's in front from behind.
Yeah, he does. He hits them cleanly from his behind. And I think when you look at Solani and Correa too, they're just so quick that this is one game in which he doesn't want to get caught out of position.
At center, on the Kings' blue line now. Some hacking and whacking going on there. A lumber. Finally, it's good free for Aki Berg. Far side. just in across the line. Kevin Holler is on it for Anaheim, able to flip out to center ice. Gary will back to change.
Very simple game for Anaheim. Holler gets it, he flips it up to the neutral zone, and they go for wholesale changes. All 5 players on Anaheim went for line change.
Ruslan Saleh carries out. Good pass, center. And in for Kip Miller, centering feed, trying to hit Cohen. Broken up nicely by the Kings defense.
Good hit.
One of the first Anaheim hits of the hockey game there, shown by Vitaly Vishnevsky. Hard-hitting defenseman. There he is, trying to go off with another big hit. Joseph Stumple might have gotten the worst of that, and then Greg Johnson comes over for a little body contact as players come together.
Not sure if there's going to be a minor penalty called on that infraction, but a couple of real good hits by Vishnevsky. He is a solid hockey player. A youngster, first-round draft pick last year, but look at the strength of Stumple, too. Stumple just braced himself for that hit. He knew that number 6 in the white jersey was coming his way. Dan O'Halloran and Stephen Walcom are the officials for this game. O'Halloran wears number 15 and Walcom number 24.
Good look at part of the $375 million Staples Center in its first season here in Los Angeles. Not just the home of the Kings, but the Clippers and the Lakers as well. It's building to host 3 home professional teams, 2 NBA and 1 hockey. Both penalty box doors were open when we left you for that commercial break, and yet there's not a single player in either box. So we go 5-7. At center ice now. Hit across the line, 3-on-4, and a little weave there at the blue line, and they're offside.
You know, the one thing and the asset that Paul Kariya has is his quickness. And I said, have you ever gotten really labeled by him? He said, no, but he's knock on wood. I mean, because it's that one time you think you've eluded him. He timed it so perfectly, so you have to have a great deal of respect for the hitting of Rob Blake.
Might be the single best hitter in the NHL.
It scared the heck out of me, boy, I tell you, because he glides into you so hard, and he's such a big man. 6'4", 230 pounds.
Gets some of his best hits in open ice, which is somewhat of a lost art in the NHL.
And Steve, right away, Craig Hartsburg, once that faceoff was won by Anaheim, because Blake remains on the ice, he pulled off Korea's line right away, made a line change, and now Blake is still on the ice.
Matt Cullen whistled that one wide from the angle, rolls all the way out, and Donato will shoot it back into his own end for Frederick Olofsson. Cross ice pass, unable to click with Kip Miller. Back behind the net. That's where Matthias Nordstrom was nailed by Miller, and they're shooting all the way down and around. Guy Hebert's got his glove raised as to signal icing, and it is.
What a race it's been. The NHL's in good hands. We have a lot of tremendous young hockey players.
The amazing thing is, you know, Kariya and Solani, it's not as if they're old either. Kariya is just in his 6th season. Solani in their 8th. Could make a case both of those just entering their prime.
Absolutely. Yep.
Off the face-off now. Anaheim gets to it with Anthony Alto. Back behind the net. Ed Ward comes over. I don't want to say it fast because then it's just one minute. And a backhand stump attempt on the wraparound is stopped. Good effort by Mike Leclerc. And Leclerc is the first guy on at center ice as well. Vishnevsky for Anaheim. Unable to connect on his pass to Alto. And the Kings trying to make any kind of offensive play, and it's just turned over. Kariya let it rip. Rob Blake got most of that one. Nordstrom is on it there. We're 8 minutes in, and LA, the home team, has yet to register a single shot on goal.
No, they've been very passive here. They've made sure they've had their 3rd man high, something they call in their terminology F3. Basically, 3rd man high, but they've been very disciplined in that respect, showing a great deal of respect for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Here's Stumple now. Drops it back. Try to hit Murray. That's broken up. Here's Solani the other way. You do not want to make a drop pass with Solani and Kariya on the ice, supposedly. Here's Ruchin. Set up the one-timer, score! Bang! There it is! Teemu Solani, a rocket, and Anaheim leads 1-0.
No chance whatsoever for Stéphane Fiset. The 3rd shot of the game by either Paul Kariya or Teemu Solani, and Solani got absolutely everything on this hard blast. At the blue line, it's a poor decision. Up the middle, Steve Ruchin, the 3rd man back, he takes advantage, and then a quick backhand pass right on the tape to the strong side, and Solani's not going to miss there. Just a rocket, and a wonderful play by the very underrated Steve Ruchin. Took the puck in with speed, a left-hand shot, nice saucer backhand pass, and right on the the tape.
Stefan Facet hates seeing Teemu Selanne. Selanne scored on 13 different times. Only one other player has beaten Facet more than Selanne, and that is Pat Verbeek. Selanne, his 31st of the season, as the icing is called at 8:39. The lone assist to Steve Rucci.
I think shooters just love the fact that they have success against one guy. Net seems like a real large net, but Ruchin goes to his back end. He splits two guys with that pass right through the seam, and knowing that Selanne is going to skate into that too, because Selanne wasn't right there in the middle the whole time. Selanne came from the other side. Selanne came from the left side of the ice, and he stepped right into that pass.
Steve Ruchin now has assists in 5 of his last 6 games, and Anaheim a 1-0 lead. Still waiting for our first Los Angeles shot on goal 9 minutes into the game here on Kings home ice. Kings played on Wednesday, a 1-1 tie against San Jose. Again, Anaheim is the team that should be fresh, but you wondered how they'd come out. Rust, a bit sluggish, having been off for an entire week, but not the case. They've got the 1-0 lead. O'Donnell tries to throw the check on his man. That shot is kicked to the corner, and that's where O'Donnell is. Gets it across for his defensive mate, Gary Galley, the veteran. And it's up ahead to Craig Johnson. He'll shoot the corner. Alto, the forward, is first man on. It gets a bit of a pick from Soleil. Rolls up for Vishnevsky, who is hit hard by Dan Bylsma. And Alto able to move it ahead for Anaheim. LA's done the better board work for sure. Shot nearly gets through the pads of Facet, but he squeezed it just enough. Steve McKenna's in a little battle to the left.
In respect to the first 5 or the first 10 minutes, and you've got a team in Anaheim that hasn't played for a week, so what do you do? Do you bombard them early? Do you hammer them down low? Do you try to, get a lead and send them off? And he says, you know what, the bottom line for me is when I stand on the bench and I'm looking at the 60th minute and we've won the hockey game. So he's a very, in that respect, calm and patient, but I'm sure he's not overly tickled with the way that they have started this hockey game. And when you get a goal scored against you like that, it does open up the eyes of everybody. I'm sure that this will grab their attention on the bench.
Off the face-off, quick shot in Korea. Let it go, and another save by Facet, who's been under attack here early by that combo of Selanne and Korea.
Well, Korea left-hand shot coming from the one side. Stop it here, guys, and we can take a quick look. Here's going to be Korea. He's going to come this way here, and he's got a nice little opening there as a left-hand shot. Let it roll. But you don't get this chance if your centerman doesn't win the face-off. And Steve Ruchin does an excellent job of winning the face-off and then getting the heck out of the way, too.
Korea trying to swing through. Ruchin back to the point for Tverdovsky. Makes a nice little move here. Tverdovsky hanging on to the puck. Towards the front of the net. Chopped that, but they're able to hold the zone. Good play by Havelid, the defenseman, to keep in. Centering feed. Tverdovsky was coming late. Could not get there. And Matthias Nordstrom did not get it by Korea. Blake is on. Nearly a dangerous giveaway by Blake. You never see that from the captain of the Kings. And now a good play by Buchberger just to clear at the center. Oh, here's a giveaway now for Los Angeles. And that shot wide of the cage. It rolls up on the far side. And towards the slot area now. Broken up by Anaheim. And Korea. Got to be at the end of the shift, you think. Here's Selanne. Here's where maybe being off for a week will really help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fresh at the end of those shifts as well.
There's no doubt about that. You are a little bit fresher. When the Anaheim Mighty Ducks went through a horrendous schedule of 8 games in 13 nights, it was a much-needed break.
Turnover again inside the LA zone. Early on, it's easy to see which team wants this game more, and that is Anaheim. Back behind the net, Hallett swings it around. Off for Cullen. Nice little pass at center for Donato. Lets it go. Stopped by Facet. Long rebound of Luke Robitaille. The far side. O'Donnell really had his pocket pick and just pushes it to center. Hebert thought about it. Gets to it and swings it around. Looks like Los Angeles just content to clear the puck here early on, middle of the first.
You know, a couple of the players did say that, we go into these games against Anaheim and we prepare and focus so much on number 8 and number 9 that we get away a little bit from our game as well. And you kind of sense that right now. The juggling, the matchups, the coaches trying to get their key players against them on the ice.
Pops in front of the net. Turnaround shot is blocked by Jorgen Janssen. Again, denying LA of their first shot of the game. We're 12 minutes in here in Los Angeles. The Kings haven't put a single shot on Guy Hebert. And folks at home might be thinking, hey, that's great for Hebert, but you might say otherwise.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm sure he's anxious to feel a puck as well.
Here's a chance. Oh, shot up high. Stop by Fisset. Cone got the good lumber on that one. And here are the Kings now, and across the line. Centering feed, broken up by Vishnevsky. And it's pushed ahead to center. Glenn Murray will chase it down.
Ladislav Cone with a nice shot on the left side, and it's been Stefan Fisset that has been keeping the home team in this hockey game. That's his 9th shot on goal.
Joseph stumbled. Shoots in. Ward got just enough to get it out. Off for Mike Leclerc. Got Alto cruising down the slot. Tried to get it across. Alto is pinned to the crossbar, and the puck is cleared. Oleg Teredovsky is back for it. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, Daryl Ray, the NHL on ABC here at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. 1-0 in favor of the Mighty Ducks. Teemu Selanne, his 31st. Rorston is back for it. For LePerriere, one of the energy players for LA, and they could use some energy right about now.
Yeah, you bet. He does that. He's a spunky guy, but look at this.
Headman pass. Here's Alto trying to break through. Got the shot. I think Fisset got a piece of that.
It's just not been the top line for Anaheim. The other lines have supported that line, and Alto's line has given them a good boost as well, so you continue some momentum there. You get it from one line, the next line comes out, you get it from them, the next line feeds off that. If you're only getting it from one line, then there's dead periods there, and that's usually where you get burnt.
To the left now of Fisset. Selanne is on it. It's picked up there by Bob Corcoran. And it's pushed ahead to center. Olofsson is on it for Anaheim. Korea has. Back for Olofsson. That's center. It's touched. Korea trying to win the race for the puck. Galley got the lumber to him. And able to make the hustle play as Korea's forced down face first to the ice. And the puck is clear.
Good hustle by Korea there, nullifying an icing call. And he took a little bit of physical abuse there from the veteran Gary Galley behind the net. Galley making sure that the little guy's not getting up. He's not going to squirt away from me. And corral the puck is one thing about Paul Korea. He's a great puck pursuit player.
Will this be the Kings' first shot? No. Amazing. 14 and a half in. And it's rolled down the length of the ice. This one will go for icing. Rob Blake touches. The Kings hear it from the home crowd.
Iggy Palffy will come back. His shoulder right now is right around 83-85%.
Rob Blake showing the strength there. Trying to force it in deep. And Ruslan Saleh able to get it ahead. It'll travel down the length of the ice. We'll check in with Daryl Ray on the touch-up. Razor, how about the early domination by the visitors? All right, Daryl, thanks. Again, no shots on goal so far by LA. 5:09 left in the first period. Earlier this season, they did have a period against Chicago. They had one shot on goal. That was going wide, although it got a piece of Hebert's glove. And they should not give them credit for a shot on goal. At center ice now. Here's Ruchin. For Selanne. Had a burst of speed, nearly a late developing 2-on-1. Back the other way. Here's Glenn Murray. And the Ducks get to it for Selanne. Hanger, are the Kings aware that they don't have a shot on goal right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Realize that?
No, there's no doubt about that. I'm surprised the fans haven't given them more of the raspberries, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, at some point, you say, hey, somebody just put it on goal, and we get a whistle. A beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Los Angeles, California. Inside the Staples Center, it's the 18th sellout of the season for the Kings. They only had 5 all of last season, so the fans have flocked to the beautiful new building.
Well, they've improved their team since last season, too. There's reason to be excited here in Los Angeles. They're in the right direction with Andy Murray. Dave Taylor, their fine general manager, and a wonderful hockey player that's got his jersey hanging up here. And it's a new barn.
Daryl Ray pointed out earlier that should they make the playoffs, it'll be the second time in the last 7 seasons the Kings would be in postseason play.
And they're concerned about the fact that a couple of years ago when they lost to St. Louis in the first round, they went in on kind of a downward spiral. They had no momentum going into the playoffs, and they need to change that around this year.
Good check thrown by the other Blake. Jason Blake throwing the body around. Here's Luke. They go back to the point. That shot wide in the net. Kings just cannot find the target. Yaroslav Modry had that shot and missed it by a wide margin. They'll try it again, and they'll shoot it around. Does there become strategy now that you don't have so many shots to not put a long one on Guilbert? Don't let him handle one from way out there.
Well, I would if I were them. I just go back to the basics. Stay in straight lines and go to the net, put the puck on net then.
Back to the point. Here's Galley, the 16-year veteran. His shot is blocked. And Anaheim looks to counter. Cohen shoots him deep. Marty McKinnis is there. And so too is Jorgen Janssen. Came over from the Islanders. Janssen has struggled lately. Just 1 point in his last 20 games for Anaheim. A pretty strong offensive campaign while playing with the Islanders on their top line.
At 1 point, he's a player of the week in the National Hockey League. He's a good player, and their hopes are that they can keep him.
The Islanders' captain's brother, Kenny Janssen. Here is Blake now. Rob Blake, trying to push it ahead, gets it back in his skates, and the Kings just have nothing going here in the first period.
Now the fans let them know that too.
They'd be fortunate to keep Luke Robitaille on the ice the entire time. That way you wouldn't know if they were booing or just saying Luke. Strange carom there. Stumple is the first man on. Back behind the net. Brett Johnson centering feed through everybody. There's Taylor Solani. He's got Correa 2-on-2. Get it across. Here's Ruth from the angle. And Fasay a big save. Puck is still loose. Solani, quick shot, is deflected out of play. I think Stumple got a stick on it to clear it out of the ring.
Two guys on Los Angeles, Stumple, and then Matthias Nordstrom was back there trying to be the goaltender as well. It started off on a 2-on-2, but some dipsy-doodling and some maneuvering here as we take a look at Paul Correa. Stop it here, guys. And this is the guy to look at right here. Stop it here. Now, Correa here sets up the middle of the ice, takes that away, waits for the oncoming Olev Tverdovsky. So on the drop pass, Correa goes to the middle of the ice, letting Tverdovsky join the rush. And from a sharp angle, Fasay is able to go over to his right and make a pretty good save. But, you know, Correa's not afraid to go through the middle of guys and then drop it off. He knows that Solani's going to feed off him. He knows Solani's not just going to drop his head and drive to the net. He's going to be aware of the situation and where the puck is.
Off the face, Kings move it to center. Here is Ian LaPerriere, a little drop pass. And it's just barely kept inside the Anaheim zone. And now they say
Detroit Red Wings and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. We're talking about plus minus, even players. 14 players with even or minus. All that tells me is at 5-on-5, which they're only a +5. And that's the difference there. When you're a team that's not very high 5-on-5 goal scoring, it's very hard to get your plus minus up because you're relying a lot on specialty teams. Or you're getting your scoring only from a couple of guys.
Wrapped around the boards by Hebert. Wisniewski bumped by Robitaille. Soleil trying the other way. Doesn't work. Nearly turns into a turnover. And a penalty coming up. As Jason Blake was sent tumbling down on the ice. And maybe the Kings were waiting for a power play before they got their first shot on goal.
I believe it's the youngster Wisniewski who's had a heck of a start here.
White, interference.
Howard making the call, an interference call, and you got to credit Jason Blake too. I mean, he's had a strong first period. He started off one of their only rushes by making a big hit right inside the blue line. And then on the center part of your screen, he had taken him down after Blake here was looking for the puck. Blake was completely off balance though. It wouldn't have mattered. My 9-year-old son might have been able to knock him down right there. To be quite honest with you, in that situation, it's because Blake came off a hit, had a little spinorama, his legs get all caught up, and then he takes a little nudge from Wisniewski.
Interference at 18:21. A minute and 39 to play here in the first period. Did Galley keep that in? No, he didn't. Reached up with the glove and could not keep it in. There's a couple players behind the player involved, Kevin Haller and Luke Robitaille.
Well, the key to the power play, and many of the folks here in Los Angeles are fully aware of the playmaking skill that the Los Angeles Kings have, but Joseph Stumple is a playmaker. He sees the seams, he spreads out the defensive team with his vision, and he looks for number 4, Rob Blake, one of the meanest one-timers in the National Hockey League, and quite often Blake will get himself set up at the center of the blue line so he can work the puck movement on both sides.
Hey, John Davidson was mentioning earlier in the pregame show about Luke Robitaille not having success against Guy Hebert.
Yep.
Well, how about this? He hasn't scored a goal on Hebert in over 6 years. His last goal against Hebert, January 29th of '94, and it's not like he hasn't faced him all that much. Robitaille has played 17 games against Guy Hebert without beating him.
Bear saves his best for this rivalry right here. He plays his best. He is a Vezina Trophy winner against the Los Angeles Kings.
Off the face-off, here's Rob Blake. That shot is blocked, and you know Korea is just trying to break out of there. Short-handed. Blake did a good job tying him up, so he couldn't break free.
We've got to credit Paul Korea, too. He put his shin pads in front of that one-timer by Blake. There were many years ago that Paul Korea wouldn't have taken that avenue. That shows a lot of leadership right there.
Here's Galley now. He's just how good these points are at the stage of the regular season. Again, Korea able to push it ahead the center. Final minute of play in period number 1. Kevin Holland able to push it ahead the center. The LA power play just 2 for 24 over the last 7 games. Not showing a whole lot here. Out in center. Here's Donato looking to break. Shorthand. Oh! And Blake got a piece of him, although Blake is the one that goes spinning down. Here's Robitaille. Tverdovsky pushes it ahead and down.
Oh, Donato was fortunate there. Blake came into him from behind like he normally does and just missed him. Donato must have felt that at one point in the battles between Anaheim and LA because he just barely eluded him.
Wrapped around, Aki Berg. Back the other way, inside the zone now. They look to set it up. From the point, that shot is tipped wide. 5 seconds left. And it is flipped to center. And here on home ice in a pivotal game, you can hear it from the crowd.
NHL メンバー表送信サービス。放送カードの両チームのメンバー表を前日までに E メールにて送信します。このメンバー表は背番号、ポジションのほか身長、体重、生年月日、出生地をカバー。ご希望の方は電子メールで NHL@wowwow.co.jp までお申し込みください。なお番組に対するご意見ご感想もお待ちしております。NHL アイスホッケーは現地時間4月12日よりプレーオフがスタート。栄光のスタンレーカップを目指しレギュラーシーズンを勝ち抜いた16チームが熱き戦いを繰り広げます。次回ワウワウの放送はプレーオフカンファレンス1回戦の中から注目の一戦を4月14日金曜日午後3時より衛星中継でお送りします。なお気になる放送カードは4月12日午後に決定。 NHL プレーオフお楽しみに。
The second period begins with a power play for another 20 seconds for the Los Angeles Kings. And we're still looking for their first shot on goal. The first period was the second time in Kings history they've gone an entire period without a shot on goal.
Maybe now they've got some fresh ice here. They can move it around and get a good quality chance to start the second.
Gary Galley's shot tipped just wide of the net. And that'll do it for the penalty. Vishnevsky's out of the box. He's at center. He's bumped by Stumbles. He shoots it even on goal.
Yeah, they're even the little battles to the loose pucks. I mean, definitely the team with the most at stake here is Anaheim, and they're the team that's playing harder.
Great line by the coach. Fortunately, they don't give 2 points for being outshot in the first period. And the Kings are fortunate about that. Again, the Kings, with a win or a tie, would clinch a playoff spot. Anaheim, as the puck is put into the Anaheim bench, comes in 3 points out of the last playoff spot in the West.
Kelly Bookberger was acquired at the deadline from the Thrashers.
They had a tough loss today on ABC at home against their arch rivals, the Flyers. Here's Rob Blake. Back behind the net off the face-off, the draw won by Los Angeles. 1-0 the Mighty Ducks. Teemu Selanne, the lone goal at first period. Here is Selanne. Nordstrom got a piece, but not enough. Comes back to the point. Ducks look to set it up. Tip towards the front of the net and tip wide as Haviland had the shot. On the far side is pushed just out the center, and Haviland will come over to protect for his defensive partner. But it's right on the stick for Rob Blake. Blake will shoot in and go for a change. Haviland on Chartrand, leaves there, centering feed. The other signals crossed again, LA did. And Solani's able to get it ahead of center. And he'll go off for a change. Shot back in. Here's Robitaille now, trying to make the move, can't do it. Hockey Bird towards the front of the net. It's knocked down. Out at center. Here's Paul Correa. Correa trying to pick a spot and missed on the far side. Marty McKinnis picks up the loose puck. And now Correa will look for a change. Good rush there by the captain of the Ducks. That shot is wide of the net. Hebert behind the net, nearly misplayed it, but he was fortunate the Ducks were able to get to it. Here's Kevin Haller leading the rush. Haller, he spun off the play. Ladislav Cohn picks it up. He's checked by Robitaille. And the Kings get to it. Smolinski, long pass. This will be icing, and the Ducks get to it first, and they do.
Boy, LA's just way out of sync. They can't make two successive passes, and at the other end of it, for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, they continue to make plays happen. Here's McGinnis has the puck, and it hits the skate of the forward Jason Blake. Great to Paul Correa. Correa trying to go to the far side, and I love the way Stéphane Fiset came out to challenge him here. Big wind-up, enough time for the goaltender to get in position. It just missed, though. I mean, Paul Correa is going to say, I just missed that. The goaltender didn't do anything there. And in LA's last game against San Jose, Vincent Danfus had a breakaway final seconds of that hockey game, tried to go high over the glove side of the wall and just missed in a similar situation.
Here's Anti-Alto taking the brunt of that stick work. Ruslan Saleh will force it in deeper. And it's pushed out to center. Saleh has it. There for Alto. Leclerc able to shoot in, and Fiset will leave it there for Gary Galley. Regardless of what happens the rest of the way, should the Kings win this hockey game, they'll have Fiset to thank. Talk about weathering the storm. Well, the Kings are the home team.
It shouldn't be that way. Should not be that way at all. Right? Again, I go back to it, but it looks like LA was the team that had a week off, really.
2-on-2 to the corner. Bilesma in there, trying to poke it free in the Los Angeles end. Perrier in there, too. Good hard battle there along the wall, and it's just tipped out to center. Ian LePerriere trying to chase down Ruslan Saleh. And Mike Leclerc off for O'Donnell. He's thumped into the boards by Matt Cullen, and we get a whistle. Once again, here's Darrell Ray.
You know, we've worked hard all year long to get to this place. We're 3 points ahead of Phoenix, and we're not doing anything out here. And you can see it in his eyes, the frustration and the desperation and the look in his eyes, pleading with them to get this thing going.
Andy Murray's most recent job to becoming an NHL head coach was a head coach at a prep school in Minnesota last year. That went 79-2. And won the midget AAA U.S. National Championships. So from prep high school to a head coaching gig in the NHL. That's not to say he didn't pay his dues, because prior to that, he spent some 7 seasons as an NHL assistant at 3 different clubs. And the crowd roars! Some are standing here. A shot on goal by the Kings. Mark that down. A 3:45 into period number 2. LA has a shot on goal. Although they have yet to register it up on the big board. At center now. Back in across the line. Towards the front of it. Cullen couldn't get to it before Fiset. At center ice now. And the crowd's getting some. Might get another shot. Guy Hebert would have to stop. Again, they have yet to put on the big board. That's a shot on goal.
It's from the other side of center ice, but still, it was a shot on goal. And if there's no one there in the net, it would go in the net.
That is the ruling.
So then Blake trying to get a long shot, and that's, here we go.
Murray in close to a one-shot score! It's Kelly Buchberger! And on the Kings' second shot on goal, they've tied the game at 1.
Miami's got to feel pretty good behind that bench. Calling that timeout becomes a key part of this hockey game. But what a play by Murray. It looks like he was going to shoot the whole time. I thought he was going to let it rip. Murray's got an excellent snapshot. But on the left side of the screen, Kelly Buchberger comes firing in here unmolested and is able to tap it in on a little one-time play. Buchberger getting speed, making sure he's onside, stick on the ice. Oh, that's just picture perfect. But as Buchberger will tell you, it's the play by Murray that makes it happen. Just a great play by Murray, and Bucky's got his 7th goal of the year.
Kelly Buchberger has tied up this game, and as part of the goaltending association, do you feel for Guillet-Bear just a bit?
Well, now he's got to get himself back into rhythm. You're right. He's feeling, here we go, you know, and that happens a lot. Don't forget, their last game against Phoenix, right off the hop, Phoenix scored on their first shot. So the whole bench of Anaheim were like, whoa, what's happening here? But they rallied back. So it's not like they're not used to situations like this. But I know for Guillet-Bear, he's probably anxious right now to feel something.
Correa is rubbed out by Buchberger now. As play is at center, this seems to have lifted certainly the crowd a little bit. Whistle for the offside. And has lifted up the Los Angeles Kings. Kelly Buchberger, 3-time Stanley Cup winner for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, and Kelly Buchberger made his presence felt in the recent game at Atlanta. He made a speech before the game, and he talked about how the Atlanta Thrashers were not going to quit. They were going to battle. He just adds that grit and intensity. And talking to Rob Blake before the game, and you can't have enough. Kelly Buchberger's in the locker room. He says, you know, you can feel that he's won by some of the things he says before the game.
Buchberger, his 7th from Murray and Rob Blake at 4:29, and we're in a 1-1 hockey game. Shots on goal matter very little all of a sudden now in this 1-1 tie. Anaheim gets to it. We'll see how the Ducks counter. You're right. Looks like a brilliant coaching move right now, that timeout. At rather an odd time in the game.
Early enough, though, that he was sensing that if they didn't fix the ship here, they were going nowhere quick. They just couldn't grab their attention. And after 20 minutes of play, and then 22 minutes of play, and 23 minutes of play, he's feeling like there's no other option here to grab their attention, and it's almost like grabbing them by the throat and saying, let's go, fellas.
And so now Buchberger has goals in consecutive games. Here's another chance. Oh, and Blake couldn't get the shot off, but the follow shot did score through. Hebert had it ready. Vladislav Cohen is flattened at center by Robitaille. He looks a little edgy this afternoon, playing a physical game here in Los Angeles. Rolls in on Forsay. He'll leave it there. Galley unable to handle it, but gets it ahead of Smolinski. Here's Sean O'Donnell. Soleil lost his edge. LA unable to take advantage, at least for now.
He tripped on that stick that was lying loose. He didn't know that. He's skating backwards and steps right on the shaft of the stick.
Galley with Cohen right on him. And that leads to this turnover. Here's Marty McInnes now. McInnes has missed 20 of the last 27 games, and he's back in the lineup here. Dumped down off a skate, and Fisey's got it. And there's no rebound. Tied at 1 in LA. Back in Los Angeles, where officially the Kings have been just awarded 1 shot on goal, and that was the goal they scored on. That's going to kill a Bears safety. So.
Yeah, that always hurts. Always hurts.
The Ducks and Kings are tied at 1. Anaheim, by the way, sets a new club record by not allowing a shot on goal in the first period. The Kings, by not having one, just tied.
And they were great over the last 40 minutes against Phoenix, too. They didn't give them a sniff. Not a sniff.
Sent down the length of the ice. Wisniewski in a race for the puck, and the touch for icing. Back to our ABC studios, John Saunders. All right, right, John, thanks very much. And the Caps have been so good on home ice. They lose at home the other night to the Pens and now trailing Toronto.
Rob Blake had an assist on the last plays. We see here's where Kelly Buchberger is. He's on the left side. Seems like he's not even part of the picture. Murray's going to get the puck here at center ice. And Murray looks like he's going to snap it and then rolls it over. It looked like it was Teemu Selanne that kind of peeled the wrong way at the blue line, and that allowed Kelly Buchberger to go in unmolested on the left side.
At center ice, here come the Kings back. All of a sudden, seem like they have a new life, Darren.
Yep.
After the goal.
Well, track it right down to the head coach making the timeout situation. Now they have to sustain that. And for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, Steve, they have to do what they did so well in that first period. Quickness on the forecheck, not allow LA to get out of their zone.
Here's Murray trying to set up the one-timer to stump him, couldn't get it through. Murray will swing it in deeper. This almost looks like an LA power play, but it's not. It's 5-on-5. Bird, good play to keep in. He took the hit, he paid the price. And the centering feed is broken up. And Yaroslav Modry the other way for Los Angeles. Modry back on it, trying to get away from the linesman there. And with all sorts of time and space, gets it across. Glenn Murray able to knock it down into midair. The puck pops on him. Alto trying to head man. Here's Ted Donato. Donato is spun around. And Fisey, half of them wound up in the net. And as always, you wait for the indication. No penalty shot in case that's what you're thinking about. We get the signal for hooking.
Ooh, and it's close. It's very, very close.
We got Mr. Modry here. He's got 2 minutes for hooking.
Dan O'Halloran makes the call. 2 minutes for hooking. Donato in there with lots of speed, and he's in all alone here. I mean, he's clear. Now, is he from the side or straight ahead? It looked to me like he was clear right from straight ahead, and I'm sure Craig Hartsburg just would like to just ask the official if there was any chance that he thought about giving him a penalty shot, because he's in all alone there. And I think he's got a very legitimate beef. A very legitimate beef. So yeah, Say pays the price on that one, doesn't he? Just gets smoked into the net. Modry is added to the lineup because of his mobility, his quickness, and against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks with their quick pursuit and so many quick players that they have, you need that mobility and quick one-touch passing.
Modry the hook at 8:07, power play. Here's Tverdovsky at the point. He's knocked down, but they're able to keep inside the zone. Here's a chance now. Olsen with a lane. He broke his stick. Had a wide open lane and broke his stick.
Oh, boy. Oh, it was just him and the goaltender. From the right side, he's wide open. And anybody that's followed the Anaheim Mighty Ducks know that their power play stems from the right-handed shot. Olsen on that right side, backdoor play. And he scored a key power play goal against the Phoenix Coyotes in that game. Sneaking in from the back door. He was all alone. It's got to be sour your stick at that point.
At center, now at Kostolanis. Courier with speed, hits the brakes. Broken up momentarily. Here's Ruchin now. They swing it around. And look to set it up with Solani. He's got the Anaheim goal. Down low, Ruchin. It went off of Nordstrom and on goal to the corner. Rob Blake is able to clear. This is the second power play of the game for the Mighty Ducks. Not managed a single shot in the first opportunity against. Since February 1st, Anaheim has the best power play in the NHL. Something else to watch for the Mighty Ducks. We get a whistle. 46 seconds left in the man.
Anaheim scored 5 power play goals in the last 3 games against Los Angeles, and it could have been 6 here. Olsen just letting her rip right here, and he put so much torque. He takes such a divot before hitting the puck, and many of the players will tell you that that's the key to the success in getting good hard wood on a slap shot. But with the divot that he takes, it actually breaks his stick, and he pushes it wide. Korea's going from the left to the right. He's just wide open. I mean, look at this. I mean, he is just sitting here in no man's land. It's wide open, prime scoring real estate.
I'm thinking about changing stick companies at this point.
Oh, man.
Face off now to the left of Stefan Fisey. In this kind of pivotal game, you don't want to say each play could mean the playoffs or not.
But it could.
But who's to say?
Absolutely. Every single battle that you're in.
Once again, update time. John Saunders at our ABC studios. All right, John, thanks. We're thinking we might have had 41 here in this game a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it looked like young JD in the net taking away the high glove. Cujo giving it and taking it away.
Here's Soleil now trying to keep it in deep. He is bumped by Smolinski, rolls around for the defenseman Haviland. Nicholas Haviland down deep. O'Donnell picks off the pass. Cute little play there by O'Donnell. It changes the direction. Nice play by Cohen to keep it towards the front of the net. Blocker to side by Fisset. Bouncing puck is loose. Still loose. Kings dangerously in front of their own net. Galley will try to clear, and he breaks his stick. Here's Cohen now. He was whacked at. Back behind the net. Ducks are set up well here. 5 seconds left on the power play. Back to the point. Haviland goes far side now. Down low. Cohen! What a stop by Fisset! Rebound stop by Fisset! Kings get to it, they'll clear!
Oh boy, what a great sequence of saves by Stéphane Fisset. And all because his teammates couldn't clear the zone on the first attempt.
And Fisset will stop that one. Again, if the Kings do hang on to win this game, Stéphane Fisset will be the story. Scoring chances all Anaheim, as you see, but it is a tie hockey game. Past the midway point of this game from Los Angeles, 1-1. At center, here's Rob Blake, got some speed. Blake lets it go, big shot, bigger rebound. Hebert able to make the stop. The Kings have possession inside the Anaheim zone now. 2-on-2 in the corner, left of Guy Hebert. Stumple can't get to it. Blake unable to keep in at the blue line. Might have got a call for an intentional offside as well, but I don't think they'll call it there. They'll leave the face up just outside the Anaheim blue line. Kind of odd that Korea was not involved in the first goal. That was Teemu Solani and Steve Lucci. Usually when those two are involved, Korea's there somewhere. Here are the Kings right back. A little pickpocket play. Nice back check by Jorgen Janssen of Anaheim. Cohn shoots in. Aki Berg is back behind the cage. Wrapped around the net there by Yaroslav Modry and all the way out. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, Darryl Ray, the NHL on ABC for the sold-out $375 million Staples Center. Turnaround shot in front. Robitaille wide of the net. What you could buy for $75 million? Stick up high on Cohn, like he got clipped. And now he's trying to skate away. Vishnevsky's without a helmet as the physical game starts to pick up. And Fisset will play. He's trying to catch Anaheim on a change. Here's LePerriere. It's shot in. Bilesman puts a stick into his man and puts him down. And we get a whistle as players come together. With 7:59 left in this tie game in the second period.
Ladislav Cohn, if I'm not mistaken, I think a player on LA got toppled over, and it might have been his skate blade that actually nicked him. And it looked quite scary, the near boards. See, Cohn is here. Hard to tell on that. There we go, right there. It was a skate blade. The second part of that right here, ooh, just comes up here. Skate blade up high, above the boards, near the glass, and Cohn kind of steps in. I think he was very, very lucky there. And he did, as you mentioned, he had the presence of mind. He looked around and looked like he was okay, and he didn't want to leave the ice prematurely because they were in the zone and they'd be scrambling if he left that zone.
Now we have a delayed penalty coming up.
This is finally starting to pick up a little bit here.
Yeah, again, these are two arch rivals that are separated by, what, an hour drive. And although they have dominated the series over the last couple of seasons, Anaheim, you would expect more intensity when the Kings and Mighty Ducks get together, and it's picking up.
Try 3 times to yank it. Danny.
And we'll get the official word.
Obstruction, holding the stick.
Guy Hebert, so for Andy Murray's hockey club, Joseph Stumple's taken the face-off, and it's imperative. You want to keep the puck in the offensive zone, so he's got to win this face-off.
.12:08, the time of the penalty. And off the draw, Anaheim gets to it. Allen swings it around, and Rob Blake unable to keep it inside the zone. Here's Correa racing down the wing, lets it go, and that time he got it on goal. And Fisset, standing tall in his crease, made the stop. Here's Murray with speed through the center ice zone. Ruslan Saleh got underneath him, lost his helmet, but made a good play.
Even while shorthanded, LA's got to be fully aware of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and they'll try that little flip play and almost like a quarterback feeding the wide receiver and maybe catching them off guard with Correa just flying down the wing.
Panger, it's not just against Anaheim. Only Chicago and Atlanta have allowed more shorthanded goals than the LA Kings. So they've had some problems in that department. Back behind the net, especially with Anaheim and that speed. Here's Matt Cullen, had a chance. Turnaround. Oh, Robitaille! And Hebert got the glove out, and Robitaille slams the stick on the net in frustration.
And one of the few chances that Lucky Luke has had in this hockey game, and good save by Guy Hebert. The best sequence for Guy Hebert in this hockey game, and he's looking to get on a bit of a roll here, only facing 3 shots, giving up 1. Luc Robitaille's talking to Guy Hebert, and it might be about the contact and the stick work right around the crease area. But the setup here, let's stop it here, guys. Stop it here. This is the player to watch, because he's getting out here into the slot looking for the one-timer. Watch him get in position. Little turnaround play, and he just missed on the far side. That's a quality scoring chance there, and Gary Galley was able to keep it in on the left side, and then Lucky Luke Robitaille got the chance to the left of Guy Hebert.
We told you, Hebert blanked Robitaille 17 consecutive games. That is unbelievable. A 500-goal scorer like Lucky Luke. And it's shot down the length of the ice. Fisset, who's back for it, will look to continue on the power play, has another 45 seconds left on.
Enough time to get it into the zone, set it up, and get at least one good quality scoring chance.
Modry, far side, trying to get it through to Craig Johnson. Centering feed, has Smolinski. Great play by Smolinski to put it in front of the net, but the Ducks had good position. They were there.
How about the 4 Ducks just swarming them? I mean, 4 of them right there, 3 feet from the crease.
Headman pass for Johnson now. Backhand shot. Timonovsky got a piece of it to pop it over the net. Vishnevsky is on it. And he's able to make the clear. 15 left in the man advantage. They push it up to Blake. Here's Rob Blake, second in the NHL in shots on goal. Might get one here. Oh, and he did. What a play by the forward, Steve Ruchin. And here is Ruchin now, trying to make an offensive play, a little transition game. And that shot goes wide of the net. And Ruchin afterwards checks his lumber, his twig. Here's a chance. Ruchin breaking in. That shot is blocked by Rob Blake, who goes down. So Ruchin and Blake get together on both ends. Here's Correa. Spin move. Shot stopped by Fisset. Rebound is loose. Another chance, Correa. Oh, stop. Rebound stopped again. Oh, save of the game by Fisset. What an outstanding scramble in front of the Kings net. And that was the save of the game, and he's had many great saves.
Oh, wonderful. Great round of applause, too, from the home crowd. The 19th shot on goal he's faced.
Shots are 19-3 in favor of Anaheim, but it's 1-1 thanks solely to Stefan Fisset. Another chance. Cullen trying to come out from behind the net. Can't do it. Wrapped around the far side. And it's pushed out by Brad Chartrand. Chartrand was called up when Ziggy Palffy went down, trying to make a mark for himself, and that when Ziggy does come back, he might still be able to stay in the lineup. We get a whistle for the icing. We've had outstanding action.
Paul Correa with a quick pull-up move, goes off the skate of Ruchin. Good save by Fisset. None better, though, than this one coming up right here with the right pad. And then he gets some help. His stick was there, though, but Brian Smolinski wearing 21 in the dark uni. He also got his foot, the toe of his skate on that one, too. And I'm thinking that even if he didn't get it, that the big shaft of the stick of Fisset would have stopped it as well. Great sequence by Anaheim, and it is replied by the goaltending of Stefan Fisset.
Face off to the right of Guy Hebert. And LA can't get the shot on goal, and Anaheim comes out. They're 1-on-3. Let's see what they're going to do. Kip Miller pushes it far of the net. Ian LaPerriere will spin it around, and now look to move ahead to center. Pass a bit too far. Sean O'Donnell. And Kevin Haller is on it up ahead for Donato. Pass broken up. McKenna for Los Angeles. A shoot in. Donato will swing it around for Haller off his stick. LaPerriere will reverse the flow. Here's Olofsson now. Shoots it around and all the way out. It'll be on goal, so there will be no icing.
I would be a little concerned if I'm Anaheim right now. I'm concerned with the fact I've had 19 shots and only scored 1.
Here's Murray now, rips it on Hebert, and he's fortunate there was no rebound because Craig Johnson was waiting for it. Downstairs to Razor.
This season, but you watch this game so far today, and Stefan Fisset has been the man, and really the Kings are getting the kind of goaltending they need if they want to get rid of these Ducks.
You got that right. Goaltending is your equalizer, and you look at the numbers of Guy Hebert and Darryl too. 7-0-2 in his last 9 against LA. Save percentage of only 95%. He stopped 95% of the shots coming his way. You're going to win a whole lot of games that way.
Made another stop there, and he's got to make one there. Up a quick shot. Man, for as much as it was all Anaheim early, it's all LA now. with 3:45 left here in the second. Centering feed, and they're unable to tee up the shot. Johnson couldn't let it go. Murray is banged hard into the glass. And again, the Ducks look to reverse it. Here's Correa with Rob Blake right on in. And the Kings captain punishes the Ducks captain. Off the glass, still inside the zone. And finally, it's free to center. There's Blake on it now. And the shot to the corner. Catches nothing but glass. Here's Stumper. Tried to set up Robitaille. Could not connect. And it's back out at center. Modry sends it across. And they play catch from blue line to blue line now.
I like that scoring chance by LA, Steve. And when they're getting chances, they're in the high slot. And twice now in this period, we've seen Murray having good hard snapshots from the high slot. And he bears an equal to the task on that last one. The first one, you remember that Murray had missed the net on the stick side.
Cohen pushes in. Modry is there for Los Angeles. Right back out. Here's Robitaille. Quick little feed for Smolinski. 3-on-2. As they hit the line, Smolinski rips one. And he ripped it so hard that Abear got the glove on it, but couldn't keep it in the glove. Cohen tried to clear. Bad effort there to get it out. Marty McKinnis has plenty of time and space, and he'll do the job. Here's Jorgen Janssen now, off of Smolinski's stick. McKinnis on him, he'll play the body at center now. Puck is bouncing, and Soleil had to make sure he had possession, banged it out. Janssen in there, trying to push it ahead to Donato now. He'll backhand softly inside the zone. Fisset will swing it around. Up the board for Chartrand, and Kevin Haller will go back to his own zone to jump on.
Follow up what you said, LA had first chance 24.5 minutes into the game, and now the last 5 minutes they've had 6 scoring chances.
Here's Cullen now. Matt Cullen towards the front of the net, broken up by O'Donnell. Galley. A couple of Ducks just slide right by him. That allows Galley to carry the puck. Out ahead, Bob Corkum shoots in. Hebert relief for his defense. The Kings go for some changes. Olsen, the lane opens up nicely for him. Back the other way. Here's Cullen carrying it with speed around Galley. Oh, and Cullen is rubbed out by Buchberger, who set him up nicely.
Buchberger's been one of the best forwards for the Los Angeles Kings in this game, has the goal, and he's had a number of pretty good hits as well.
He's just a perfect third-line playoff-type player. What team in the league wouldn't want to have a Kelly Buchberger?
Yeah, you betcha.
Here's Stumble. Off the turnover now. Trying to go Solani backdoor. Couldn't tee it up. That dangerous line on the ice for Anaheim. This line much more quiet here in the second than they were in the first as players get together. O'Donnell is involved with Solani, and that is a mismatch. As Solani gets a glove back in the face of O'Donnell now. Off the face-off, and they nearly had Correa. The pass just got by him. Off the draw. Nordstrom had enough, but not. If the puck was on his stick, it would have been in the net. Stumple is back for it. Tverdovsky pins him inside the Anaheim zone. We're tied at 1. Final half minute of period number 2. And here is Solani. Teo Solani gives to Correa. Those two trying to work some of their magic. The 8th and 9th leading scores in the NHL respectively. Correa 8, Solani 9. Murray on the far side. Solani comes over trying to pin it along the wall. 10 seconds left. Referee urging him to play it right to Nordstrom. It is blocked. Will go to the corner. 1 second left. Centering feed, and Nordstrom couldn't get it off.
NHL メンバー表送信サービス。 放送カードの両チームのメンバー表を前日までに E メールにて送信します。このメンバー表は背番号、ポジションのほか身長、体重、生年月日、出生地をカバー。ご希望の方は電子メールで nhl@wowwow.co.jp までお申し込みください。なお番組に対するご意見ご感想もお待ちしております。NHL アイスホッケーは現地時間4月12日よりプレーオフがスタート。栄光のスタンレーカップを目指しレギュラーシーズンを勝ち抜いた16チームが熱き戦いを繰り広げます。次回ワウワウの放送はプレーオフカンファレンス1回戦の中から注目の一戦を4月14日金曜日午後3時より衛星中継でお送りします。なお気になる放送カードは4月12日午後に決定。 NHL プレーオフお楽しみに。
Southern California rivals. Off the face-off, the Kings control. Sean O'Donnell will shoot it around. Bookberger will have the big second period. Got a couple of goals in back-to-back games. Keeps in. Kept in at the point now. Bookberger took the wrong angle behind the net. Can't get to it. It's okay because his teammate can. As they're outmanned along the wall, and that allows Anthony Alto to pick up the loose puck. Alto off for Ed Ward now at center. Ward tries to backhand inside the zone. Gary Galley is on it, and he's rubbed out by Alto. O'Donnell shoots it out. Bookberger paid the price to clear that puck. But it goes for icing as Vitaly Vishnevsky touches up.
For the season, 7 goals. That means nothing right now as we get set for the real season, and that's the playoff season. But for Kelly Bookberger, stick on the ice, going to the net, getting the great pass from Glenn Murray, and finishing off behind Guillet-Bear. Only their first official shot on goal at that particular point. They still only have 6. It's still nothing to write home about.
On home ice.
But as Andy Murray said, you don't get points for out shooting the opposition.
Downstairs to Darryl Ray.
Hey, Steve, you know, Kelly Bookberger was a teammate of mine when I was with the Edmonton Oilers, and of course he was the captain of the Edmonton Oilers for a long time, took over for a guy named Mark Messier. So when you're talking about adding leadership to this Kings team, he knows a little bit about it. He's won some championships, as Panger mentioned, and he's had an impact on this team already.
You betcha. Both Darryl Ray, myself, and Kelly Bookberger, we played in Halifax with the Oilers, which is the farm club of the Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. And I got to know Kelly Bookberger at a very thin 6 feet. He might have been 165 pounds, and at that time, the American Hockey League, a lot of veteran players, a lot of big tough guys. He didn't back down from anybody. He fought absolutely everybody and became an instant leader on that American Hockey League club, and that followed through with the parent Oilers.
I think he even resembles Messier in a bit. Here's 2-on-1 down low. Here's Tverdovsky trying to hit the brakes, and what a defensive play there by Rob Blake. You look at Bookberger, the helmet, the jaw, the way he plays, obviously not gifted offensively the way Messier is.
Taking a step further, the curve of the stick, the blade of a stick, identical to what Mark Messier used, and even going to the net on that quick little one-time tap play to score the goal, the same similar kind of motion. So the influence of the great Mark Messier on so many players. What an odd man break, though, for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks on that last shift. And you're right, Steve. Rob Blake made a great play. I mean, Rob Blake being 6'4" and 230 pounds, when he sprawls down like that, he can really kind of shut you down. But you see the Anaheim Mighty Ducks defensemen, as they've scored 42 of 203 goals this season. That's 20.7%. That leads the NHL. And so Rob Blake not only has to deal with the forwards, but also defensemen like Oleg Tverdovsky right here, who has 15 goals. So It's a big part of the offense for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. We spent a lot of time talking about the 35% of the goals that the Ducks have scored between only two players, Solani and Korea, but it's their defensemen that have been brilliant in the last half of this year.
Good face-off win there by Los Angeles. Leads to a shot on goal and another shot that goes wide of the net. Try to set up the one-timer for Luka Robitaille. Could not connect. Cullen picks it up for Anaheim. Flips it out. And it's into the bench area. Whistle with 17:57 left here in the third. We are tied at 1. Again, the Kings with a win or tie victories. Edmonton has all those overtime points. A ton of losses. That could really hurt them should they get in a tiebreaker situation. And the 4 other teams that are battling are all in action later tonight. A wild schedule of NHL action on this Saturday.
One of the great Los Angeles Kings ever is Luka Robitaille. Nice to see that he came back. Sad thing that he ever left.
The 27th player to score 500 goals, but he's the 12th fastest to get there. That is significant. As it's pushed ahead to center. Buchberger. Ever since we mentioned his name, he scored the goal. Seems like he's playing a ton of ice. He's getting a ton of ice time.
Yeah, well, maybe Andy Murray sees that and trying to get everybody to feed off that type of play. And Buchberger's right back there as a third man down, making sure he's defensively responsible.
Reaching the feed in front. Korea got the shot, and Fiset was there. Stefan Fiset having an amazing game, trying to solidify himself as the #1 goaltender for the Kings as they hit the postseason. It's been a tough year for injuries, really for both goaltenders for LA, but Fiset's missed a total of 21 games.
That's a classic two-pad slide save, though. That's outstanding there to get from his left to his right like that.
And on a guy like Paul Korea, he's not stopping a third or fourth line guy.
Exactly. I'm not sure if Korea, in that situation, if he could get the puck and he could corral it. Korea likes to take the puck, corral it, and then maybe go up high like that. That play was just a chip play.
Buchberger will shoot in softly and go for a change. Ducks get to it off the glass and right out of the zone as Jürgen Janssen is handled pretty good. Steve McKenna is back deep for Los Angeles. Out ahead, Bilesma got a piece of it, just one touch to center. Olofsson is on it from Anaheim. Banging to the boards by McKenna. Shot deep inside the zone. Here's O'Donnell. Able to kick it free momentarily. Off the referee. Nearly dangerous and bouncing in front of the net. Ian LaPerriere couldn't get to it. Galley can. Finds O'Donnell. Looks to move it ahead to center now. Nearly had the pass picked off. Here is Ian LaPerriere. Leads the NHL in one category. Most fighting majors. Far side for Ruslan Zalay. Up from Ladislav Cole. And it's pushed out inside the zone. LA's at the last 5 shots. Anaheim went 7.5 without a single shot on goal. One of the interesting stories of the game, up and down. It's like the stock market in this game here today, right?
There's nothing sustained whatsoever. Nothing at all.
Well, Disney, I understand. Far side, they work it. Moser can't keep inside the zone. It's back to Aki Berg. Berg. Greg Johnson will shoot in. Bounces up on in there. Cullen gets to it. It's pushed out at center. Race for the puck. Berg will get there first ahead of Ted Donato. Up high, Johnson showing the hops. Gloves it, knocks it down. And then it's picked up by Anaheim's Kit Miller. Not a whole lot happening here. No play between the blue lines.
No. Dump it in, dump it out, dump it in, dump it out. I mean, you can understand from Anaheim's point of view, it's a one-home hockey game here on the road. You don't want to make a foolish mistake, but at the same time, you can't become passive.
Rob Blake, the big shot, off the mark. Matthias Nordstrom shoots in. Wisniewski can't get to it. Nordstrom, good play to keep it in. Here's Bobby Corcoran trying to get towards the front of the net. It's broken up. Lucci rubs it out. Here's Solani with some speed at center. 2-on-2. He's got Korea with him. Here's Korea. Gives it through to Solani and got it on goal, but not the kind of shot he would have liked. And Fiset's got that one too. He's gobbled it up.
So tough to defend against the give and go. The thing that made Curry and Gretzky, Bossy and Trottier, and all the great tandems that you see around the NHL. Solani with his head up. The puck is bouncing. He gives it ahead because Korea's ahead of him here. Korea's going to play it back now, try to feed it right back. So Blake's kind of there. Blake's saying right now, he's seen Nordstrom has got his man. And so if you have that trust, then you're in pretty good shape. Now, this is the one-time play that we talked about in the two-pad slide saved by Stefan Fisset. He's got his legs braced here on the left. He goes to the right. The bottom leg is the one that makes the save. The top leg gets stacked. The blocker's on top of that just in case he gets it up. And so Solani and Correa, didn't look like Solani had played that much in the second period. I take a look at the numbers, though, 14 minutes through 2 periods of play.
Here's Robitaille inside the Anaheim zone. And it's worked out by Marty McInnes. Here's Cole, the big shot off a stick. And deflected high into the crowd here at the Staples Center, where they've got a capacity crowd. 18,118, 18th sellout of the season for LA. Did a good job here with the Staples Center. Not too big. A lot of the new buildings went to...
In the meantime, Frederick Olsson, if you're looking for guys now, 1-1 game, third period, Olsson's been red hot. Tverdovsky's been red hot. We talked about the goals that have come from the sticks of the defensemen of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. There's a time to become passive. You don't want to become so passive that you're caught in a bit of a trap and you're allowing them to take momentum. They do not want to give momentum to the LA Kings.
Janssen, good play. Hard check thrown on Cone by O'Donnell. Centering feed. Couldn't get it through to McInnes. And it's cleared out to center. Jorgen Janssen swings it across for Olofsson and down the ice. This will go for icing. Darren was just mentioning some of the Mighty Duck players to look for here in the third. For LA, they look to Glenn Murray. 16 third period goals, third most in the NHL. Pavel Bure's got 27 third period goals. Mike Modano's got 17, and Glenn Murray is right there with the elite goal scorers in the NHL.
A great shot. I mean, when you think of some of the snappers that he's had in this game here, Anaheim has got to eliminate him from the high slot. Right-hand shot, he gets himself in position. They know where he's going to be. Got to take that away. So when you take him away, you got to take away Stumple away, because Stumple's the guy that's going to feed him.
27 on the season, tying him with Ziegler County for second on the team overall. Third period, it's one of the goals that are toughest to come by. It's really impressive.
They got him rated as one of the most underrated players in the National Hockey League. We talk about Ruchin a lot. I think Ruchin is actually getting his due. I think Murray needs to get a little more due.
Correa is bumped by Nordstrom. Blake right back out for Los Angeles. 5-on-5 with tied at 1. Long shot, skimmed off the stick of Amer. Here's Stumple towards the net. It's broken up, and Aki Berg jumps in.
Ruchin went off for line change. Now Cullen comes on as the replacement center. Correa quickly goes off there. I'm sure that Craig Hartsburg will be anxious to get them onto the ice as much as possible, but it's not do or die for them. I mean, it's not a situation where you're going to play them so much that they might jeopardize you defensively by being tired.
That is just Luke Robitaille's second shot on goal in the game. And Rob Blake, who is second in the NHL in shots on goal, also has just one this afternoon. Shot for the angle, ripped up high. Aber went down and put the glove over his head and made the snatch catch. Time now for our Eagle Ones.
They came back deep and made a nice toe save.
Off the faceoff, good draw again. Los Angeles doing a nice job with the faceoff. Good pass across the motion. Makes the pass, shot! Shot, score! Oh, that stopped the first one, but on the rebound, the Kings score. It's Ian LePerriere, and it's 2-1 LA.
Right off the face-off, a clean win. Oh, this place is just jumping. Robitaille's on the doorstep. LePerriere's on the doorstep as well. Good face-off win, clean win here. Robitaille takes out his man. Little interference on the left side. The puck goes to the right. Both LePerriere and Robitaille come from the left side. The first shot by Luke is stopped by Olofsson. The rebound right on the tape to LePerriere. This one is stopped by the goaltender. LePerriere is right there. Bang! And he puts it high. Water bottle knocker underneath the crossbar. And it's a 2-1 Kings lead.
LePerriere, known for penalty minutes and fights more than he is goals. He gets his 8th and maybe a pivotal goal this season. LePerriere came in ranked 6th in penalty minutes in the NHL, number 1 in majors penalties. And he's got his 8th. 2-1 in favor of the Kings. LePerriere, Robitaille, and Beaudry. Wisniewski. O'Donnell out. The shame of that is because the other defense partner for Modry, who got it across, will not get an assist, but that was a nice soft saucer pass under pressure.
It really was, and it all stems from the face-off win and a little bit of a pick. A good, solid play, an intelligent play by Luke Robitaille. If you don't get caught on it, but he was the one that created some space on the right point.
You got a sense of how important that goal was. Robitaille celebrated almost like he scored a playoff goal. His 500th goal or something momentous like that, yet he just made the assist for the original shot. The Perriers get the goal. Kings up, and we send you back to John Saunders. All right, John, thanks. Red Wings and Blues, sort of the way it should be, right? Tie hockey game.
You bet. I mean, Osgood, he's saving his best right now. He's getting himself on a roll, and that is good news for everybody involved in Detroit. Some sparkling saves.
That 30-save shutout in New York against the Rangers, and he's really gotten on a roll.
All about confidence, all about timing. I hate to say pacing yourself, but the bottom line is what happens in postseason.
Turnover, Corkum shot right off the mighty duck of Guy Hebert. Hebert is still down now. As the Ducks break, here's Salon, rocket right on. Stopped by Facet, who played it perfectly. I'm not sure if Facet even glanced over it at Paul Correa. He plays the shooter right on. And Hebert juggles that one. Hebert might have been shaken up after that last stop. He got up very slowly.
He was. You bet he was. And once he saw that the LA Kings were coming back this way, he had to regroup, gather himself.
We go coast to coast. The NHL on ABC. That's center now. And across the line. Here's Robitaille. Thought about it. Lets it go. It's blocked. Tries it again. And it's deflected off Olofsson.
With the season on the line, Solani's got a 2-on-1 break with Paul Correa. With the defenseman putting his stick down, Solani, a pure sniper who won the Rocket Richard Trophy last year with the most goals in the National Hockey League with 47. He knows what to do. And he tries to go high to the glove side. It wasn't exactly where he wanted to go, and I think a large part of that was because of the positioning of Stéphane Facet. Facet shut him down. He came out and took it right on the shoulder, making it look easy. That's a credit to the goaltender as well. I know from Solani's point of view, he wanted that under the bar and in. There are very few players in the league that are as good as Solani at putting it under the crossbar over the glove and in.
Maybe a little payback. Remember, Solani scored in the first period against Facet. Only Pat Verbeek has scored more goals against Stéphane Facet than Teemu Solani. That's center ice now. Here the Kings coming back. Backhand shot down low. Good shot there by Smolinski, who was being checked from behind. He still got it on goal. Wisniewski and Janssen there for Anaheim. Cohen couldn't get there first, and it's kept in nicely by Modry. Off of Ladislav Cohen, and the Ducks will come out at center. Here's Jörgen Janssen, and across the line, towards the net, wide on the shoot side. And Smolinski will pick up the loose puck.
Anaheim Mighty Ducks, the third and fourth liners, second liners, they've got to pick it up here too. It's not just the two guys as well. They've got to have sustained pressure here. They need a surprise hero to tie this game up at 2.
Last 15 minutes of this game, LA has outshot Anaheim 13-4. It's been an up and down game really for both teams. Since 4 minutes into the second period, LA's pretty much had the better of the play. The occasional duck chance, like right here. Matt Cullen fakes the pass, and Galley stepped in front of Ruslan Saleh. How about that defensive zone coverage? And now another chance. Here's Saleh from the angle shot, stopped by Facet, who's hugging the post, and now he'll hug the puck. Not today.
No. What a play we had here too. Matt Cullen picks up a loose puck down the left side. I thought he was going to shoot all the way. He's looking for a pass. He's nullified on that play. Soleil's nullified. Gary Galley does an excellent job of jumping into the play. Oof.
Here's Tverdovsky now behind the net. Had Correa all alone for a split second, but couldn't get it to him. Now he does, and that shot is blocked. Bit too slow 2 times getting it to Correa. Here's a shot right on from Brad Chartrand and Hebert. Still a little few years away from joining the senior tour, right, Perrier?
I just have my hairline looks like it should be there.
Off the face-off, Matthias Nordstrom trying to carry it in for Los Angeles, the defenseman. Checked by Tverdovsky. One-on-one battle behind the net. Who's going to get to it first? It's Solani. A dangerous pass, but it works out for Anaheim. Here's Correa, rips it. Never crossed the red line. Some superstars will get that call, but that would have been icing. Down low, here's Solani, off for Ruchin. Gives it back to Solani as they do the hard work along the boards. Vishnevsky trying to get it towards the front of that. It's blocked. Turns around and rips it wide on the short side. And then he's whacked at by Buckberger. The Kings get to it.
And interesting defensively anyway, Tverdovsky is not 5-on-5 with this explosive offensive line, so maybe Craig Hartford's thinking, you know, I'll get the guys up front going, but I'm going to make sure I've got the guys defensively there on the backside for us.
Heavy check thrown in front of that Los Angeles bench. 7 minutes even to play here in the third. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, Darryl Ray. The NHL on ABC from LA, and that shot by LaPerriere just went off the outside of the net. One goal's not enough for LaPerriere. Really had a 2-goal game.
Robitaille with eyes on the side of his head knew that LaPerriere was busted in on the right side, and it was right on the tape.
LaPerriere is the first man back in his own zone to make the play. Behind Smolinski. And I'm not sure if he was looking for the pass there or for the clear. Either way, it goes for icing. We'll get a whistle. Exactly 6.5 to play. Regulation time in really the most meaningful game in the history, the 7-year history between the Kings and the Ducks.
It clearly is. It clearly is, and you'd love to see on the West Coast, you'd love to see San Jose and Anaheim and Los Angeles Kings in the playoff hunt, facing one another for the first time to really create that animosity and hatred that you love to see in a playoff series, and that carries on forever. Robitaille's on the right side of your screen, feeding right in front of the net to number 22 in the dark jersey. The goaltender's got to go from his right to his left. That hit the side of the net, as you clearly pointed out, Steve, on the one-time play by LaPerriere, which would have sealed this hockey game.
These two teams have never been in the same postseason in the same season. This might be the postseason. That all changes. It's more up to Anaheim than it is to LA. The Kings a win or tie away from clinching a playoff spot. By the way, an overtime loss would not do it for them. The tiebreak rolls in front. Fisset got to it and got some good protection there from Bob Corkum. Along those lines, in the standings, the wild, wild Western Conference, the gold line, you see, the idea is to be above that line, Tanger, right? Not below it.
No, you got to be above that line. You have to be. It's like in football, that imaginary line that's out there for first down. Well, it's definitely, right now, it's 3rd and 1 with no time remaining for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They figured they had to win 4 of the last 5 games that they have to put themselves in a pretty good position. There are 25 shots on Fisset, who's been outstanding in this game. The Kings have had 17 on home ice.
Shot in by Smolinski. Galley was not even close to being onside. 2-1 in favor of LA. 5:57 left here in the third. And it's shot into the Anaheim zone. Glenn Murray, we told to watch for him in third period goals. He's on the ice for LA. Here's Tverdovsky now. He's checked. Anaheim still able to get it outside the zone. And it's flipped up into the second row back of the Mighty Ducks bench.
The Mighty Ducks have to face the fact that the LA Kings have improved in many, many areas as compared to last year. And last year's numbers, they averaged 2.31 goals for per game, 25th in the National Hockey League. And now this year, they're up to 3.04. That differential is the best in the National Hockey League.
But the Kings are going through a bit of a slump offensively here at home. They've scored 3 or fewer in each of their last 11 home games. That's the longest streak, futility-type streak in franchise history. And of course, they're under 3 so far here today, having a 2-1 lead with 5.5 to play.
It's good going into the playoffs, winning 2-1 hockey games. You've got to learn how to win in battle and pay the price.
Centering feed. Oh, Correa couldn't get the stick on it. Ruchin on Blake now. Who had a hold of Correa? Is that Bob Corkum?
Yeah.
Always a solid defensive forward. Corkum made the strong play there.
And Andy Murray has, he has 2 lines that have to go up against these guys in the one defensive tandem of Matthias Nordstrom and Rob Blake. Corkum done a nice job on that last play.
Solani was coming late again. Nordstrom had the good coverage. 2 on, 1 the other way. Kelly Buckberger. Buckberger towards the front line for Dan Bilesma. And see Hebert grab it with the stick and pull it back into him.
Yeah, smart. Get that thing under your mitten and shut her down here. Buckberger trying to feed Dan Bilesma, busting down on the right side. And they weren't successful in the pass, although it was a nice soft little feather pass from Buchberger. And this was after the Anaheim Mighty Ducks had this opportunity here, putting the puck over to the right side, and that just missed. Solani's busted down to the right point, and you saw there that the LA Kings just smothering him, and that's where Buchberger took the puck all the way down the left boards right after that attempted pass to Solani, and Buchberger on a 2-on-1 break.
Face off to the right of Guy Hebert. Robitaille able to work it free, at least momentarily anyway. Good forecheck and good offensive zone work here by the LA Kings. Smolinski gives it back to Robitaille. He's pinned by Olofsson now. Worked free by LA. Here's LaPerriere coming out of the corner towards the front of the net. And it's broken up. Ladislav Cole races back the other way for Anaheim. Tries to skip through the defense. McKinnis trying to pick it up. Can't. LaPerriere is banged by Slay. And here's LA trying to break. Smolinski cuts to the middle. Robitaille got the shot off. It was blocked. That was a slow developing 2-on-1 by, I think, an obviously frustrated Luc Robitaille. At center ice, here's Jorgen Janssen now. And Janssen will flip in to the corner. Isaiah will let it go. Sean O'Donnell rolls up for Gary Galley up at the point. And they're out center, down in the Anaheim end. Hebert touched it to Tverdovsky.
Could have been a nice call there. It was quickly waved off.
And the Ducks come away. Should Anaheim lose this game, they'll look at that first period where they dominated. Didn't allow the Kings a single shot on goal, yet only had a 1-0 lead. Stefan Fiset would be the star of this game for LA, keeping them in that first.
Well, Hebert's going to have to make some saves too, because the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, the defensemen, are on a full court press. And I know Craig Hartsman, their head coach, he lets everybody on that bench know about when to pinch, and they're pinching right now.
Shot off the glass, back behind the net. Korea, good strength there to get it to Ruchin. He's pinned by Matthias Nordstrom. One of the also the more underrated players in the NHL. Shot from the point. Fiset never saw that one as it whistled by him.
Might have hit Blake too. It looked like he was shrugging something off there. That got up high real quick.
And just to finish on Nordstrom, that's probably the reason he doesn't get a whole lot of attention, because he's Rob Blake's partner. It's all the year. Here's Korea, backhanded, chopped down to the ice. Good physical play by Blake and Nordstrom as they combine to knock down Matt Cullen.
Cullen came on there. Ruchin going for a line change. Korea out of gas there. But one thing to keep your eye on here is right here. Ruslan Saleh. This is a defenseman. It's an example that we're showing because they're in the offensive zone. He's a defenseman. He's coming in. He's pinching. But meanwhile, the LA Kings are coming this way here. And this is where you get the odd man break. So all their defensemen, I say all, but all they have to do really is clear their zone. Chip it off the boards or off the glass. And you're going to have one forward high. And they create a pretty good scoring chance there. The shift right after that, it was Tverdovsky that slid in on the right side as we see the remaining schedule of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Hanger, no games are easy, okay? But Nashville twice and Chicago, plus a team they have traditionally owned over the years, these Kings, that has to be considered a favorable schedule for Anaheim as they whistle it down behind the LA net. Anaheim again 3 points out of a playoff spot heading into action tonight.
That graphic that we showed you, that is a combined 7-0-3 record for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. 2-0-0 against Nashville at Chicago. They've been 3-0-1, and obviously at Nashville, and again they come back against the Los Angeles Kings next week on ABC.
Last 11 meetings between these two Southern California rivals, the Kings have only beaten the Ducks once, and Anaheim's been even better here in LA. 5-1 over those 11 games. Rolls towards the front of the net. And Fiset to stop there. See, the Kings have played better in Anaheim. That's where they have their 2 ties this season against the Ducks at the Pond.
Well, they must have been getting some good defensive work like we just saw from Gary Galley, who completely shut down the Duck forward right in front of the net. We're going to stop it here, guys. And here's what we're looking at here. Here's Galley. He's going to take out his man. He's got his man. He's got his man. Now, the puck's loose. He's got them all tied up. All the goaltender has to do is put the paddle of the stick along the ice. There's no shot whatsoever. If that player, Galley, ends up kind of looking just at the puck and you get away from the stick, then you're going to be in trouble. And congratulations to Gary Galley. He's battled a lot of injuries, including the sports hernia. He's their nominee for the Masterton Trophy.
It's 9 games. Returning in January due to post-concussion syndrome. Just one of the many injuries. Off the that face-off. Corkum tied up his man nicely, but Solani gets the puck. Here's Solani. Ruchin is all alone in front of the net. But they can't get the puck to him. And it's flipped out to center and down into the Anaheim end. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. Regulation time.
LA's well prepared for this full court press here. Kelly Buchberger on the left point. He took out the right defenseman for Anaheim, Oleg Tverdovsky, knowing that he would jump into the play. He completely eliminated him from the offense.
At center. Havilid on it. He'll skate back into his own zone, look to set it up. Had two players to hit and wound up not hitting either one of them. Correa or Sloan. Correa is rubbed out by Rob Blake. And there's an icing call. The clock is stopped with 1:39 left as the two captains come together.
Yeah, and Solani's talking to the referee as well right after that. He's talking to Stephen Walcom saying, man, you can't just hammer the guy like that. The puck wasn't anywhere near him. Here's Rob Blake. Now, Rob Blake's job is to basically eliminate Correa from getting the puck, but the rules of hockey say that this is interference. It could be obstruction interference. It could be many different calls. Maybe because it's on an icing call, that part of it was eliminated. Correa's going in with full speed. He is basically blocked out of this play. Blocked out. I think the Anaheim Mighty Ducks have a legitimate beef right there. It's a veteran play by Rob Blake, but at the same time, it borders on the obvious. Look for them to jump right back on here. A quick timeout. Look for the goaltender to come on out. 1:39 seconds left. Win the faceoff. Get the goalie up and get the two big horses out there.
Galley off the faceoff win by the Kings. It's back behind the Ducks net now. And the net is knocked off. And because they say it was knocked off by the LA player, the faceoff will come to center ice.
And if I'm not mistaken, Anaheim has not called a timeout. Remember, Andy Murray had a key timeout there in that second period to rally his troops. It worked. And now with 1:31, Newell Brown, the assistant coach, is talking it over with Craig Hartsburg, the one-time first-round draft pick of the Minnesota North Stars. It doesn't look like they're going to do so.
In case you're just joining us, LA went 24.5 minutes without a shot on goal. Big goose egg in the first period. Their first shot on goal went in. And now they have a 2-1 lead. But right back is Anaheim. Cullen to the front of the net. Can't get it to him. They wait. Now set it up back behind the net. A real strong block there by Sean O'Donnell of LA. Race for the puck. Here's Murray on it. Leaves it for Corkum towards the... What a stop by Hebert, who kept the pads together. And there was Glenn Murray nearly adding to his third-period goal total.
Great scoring chance. Murray does a nice job of swinging from his forehand to his backhand because that puck wasn't anywhere near that part of it. Stumple with a little play. Oh boy, just eludes the stick of the defenseman Ruslan Soleil. A little backhand play, but the Anaheim Mighty Ducks have got to be kicking themselves here. Miller has a lot of options here. And I think when you're in that type of situation, you have to make up your mind early. Make the pass quick to separate the D, or let this thing go on net, because you've got two players busting towards the net themselves. So maybe you can put one in the pads of the goalie, and then you can crash the net for a rebound. They didn't get even a shot on goal.
Minute 4 left. Solani and Correa are on the ice for Anaheim. Face off deep in their zone, the left of Guy Hebert. The draw is won by the Mighty Ducks. We'll watch for Hebert to leave the net for the extra attacker now. Here is Solani at center, around Buchberger, and inside the zone. Hebert's out of the net, extra attacker on for the Mighty Ducks. They look to get the great equalizer with 45 seconds up, and a penalty is coming up. Delayed penalty. Let's see which way this is going to go.
Well, it's going to go on Rob Blake. And Steve Ruchin looks like he is the cut party as we see Stephen Walcom explain.
You might watch it. You'll see. Minor penalty for high stick.
And he's telling the players, you watch it, you're going to see, knowing the big screen is right there. Here's Blake on Ruchin. Yeah, the stick's up over the shoulder, and the shaft of the stick actually clips the left side of Steve Ruchin. At first, the stick was lower, then it kept riding up on the shoulder of Steve Ruchin. Two pretty big guys, too. I told you that Blake is 6'4". Well, Ruchin is also a pretty big guy, 6'2". So that meant the stick was up there pretty high if it clipped him right around the eye. It was very inadvertent, not intentional, but nonetheless, the referee was right there.
Ducks will take a timeout. Only Todd Simpson of Florida has more minor penalties than Rob Blake. And Blake, who might have gotten away with one, not getting called on a penalty just prior to that, as you pointed out, he gets caught this time. And let's see, they'll pull the extra attacker and really have a two-man advantage. Sets up a thrilling final 39 seconds.
everything would go for naught from Anaheim's point of view if they do not win the faceoff. So there's so much pressure right now on Steve Ruchin. And Ruchin is always the guy, the go-to guy in terms of faceoffs. After 40 minutes of play, Ruchin is at 45% in this hockey game, but he picked it up from the first period when he was right around 30. So he has been getting better as this game is going on. One thing I noticed about Ruchin is his footwork. He's very good. If he misses it with his stick, he'll use his foot.
He's the third best face-off man in the NHL, Steve Ruchin.
Here's the guy to look for. Here's Solani. He's a right-hand shot. He can come this way if they end up getting the puck back to him. The same way they work it on the right side of the ice with Correa. Look for Correa to just break towards the net.
So the net empty. They really have a two-man advantage. Remember, Anaheim has the best power play in the NHL since February 1st, and they win the draw. Huge win by Ruchin. Let's see if the Ducks can make it pay off now. Get it across. Correa one-timer. Blocked by Matthias Nordstrom. Still loose, and it just squirts out to center ice. 25 seconds left in regulation time. Shot right back in again. Back behind the net. There's Ruchin. Swung around for Solani. Teemu Solani is on it now. Top of the circle. Shot. Stop. Rebound loose. Good coverage by O'Donnell, who played the man, and then knocked it behind the net. 7 seconds, and that looks like it'll do it.
What a save by Fisset. What a great save with the right pad.
We welcome officially the Los Angeles Kings to the Stanley Cup playoffs by virtue of this win on home ice, and they're flashing it on the big board here. It's